He's like, man, I just want to get a workout. I want to get a nap. I want to get something to eat. We're going to bring him back in 1 second. There's more breaking news. This is not from the NBA. I'll give you a second. This is from the National Football League. To those of us, just this Super Bowl Sunday, I went to pray at my church of Jimmy Jesus. That's Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, jeez.
Jimmy Garoppolo has agreed to terms with the San Francisco 49ers, a 5-year, $137.5 million contract, the biggest deal in NFL history on an average per-year basis. So, look, you can think that Belichick was nuts and that he gave him away. I agree. I thought one, was it a third-round pick for him? The second-round pick? Second-round pick. For Jimmy Garoppolo. They should have gotten a first-round pick for him. At least one. I mean, and maybe, or a pick and a player. But the only way in which he would have played was Tom Brady would have been hurt, and they luckily dodged a bullet, and Tom Brady wasn't hurt. But Jimmy Garoppolo appeared to be worth every penny. I know they didn't make the playoffs. I think they were better than maybe half of the playoff teams in the NFC, and definitely half of the playoff teams in the AFC at the end of the season, and he was the reason why. Jimmy Garoppolo, the biggest contract in NFL history. Niners have found their quarterback. Rams have found their quarterback. The Seahawks kind of in rebuild mode, and we'll see with the Arizona Cardinals. They do not have a quarterback.
Can I tell you Instagram that LeBron just put out about Dwayne Wade?
Sure.
You'll like it.
Go ahead.
He just wrote, I'm truly happy for my brother Dwayne Wade. It's how it's supposed to be. Love you, my guy. Wade County back.
That's some spin right there for you. That's some serious spin, huh? Hey, listen, you get to go. This is what you say to people when somebody passes away. They get to go home.
Or if you break,
they get to go home.
Yeah, if you break up.
Like, yeah, it's better. Listen, I'd like to. I believe in a higher power. I'd like to spend some time, but not yet. I'm really good right here, right?
Yep.
Like, I'm sure Dwayne Wade wants to retire with the Miami Heat. He does, but the Cavs are going to make a run in the playoffs, and I'm sure that no matter how bad it was and how much playing time was being discussed and how much it was tough in that locker room, Dwayne Wade in Miami sounds really good. It sounds a lot better if you're in the NBA Finals. Let's get Chiris Broussard in here. Chiris Broussard he had to do a U-turn on the 405. So listen, if you're on the 405, you're driving, you're like, why is there traffic both ways? Broussard is the reason why, outside of the airport traffic, which is omnipresent. Okay. Are you caught up on all the different dudes? Like, cell phone is blowing up.
Look, nobody thought the Cavs were going to be able to make a blockbuster deal. You thought it'd be a minor deal or two. But when you make 3 deals like they've made, 3 minor deals, I guess, they add up to a blockbuster move. This has been, it's hard to remember seeing anything like this. I think you have to give the Cavs front office, Kobe Altman, the rookie GM, a lot of credit. They got younger. They've gotten more energetic. They got more athletic. They cleared up log jams. Now, we talked earlier. You got Clarkson, Rose, and Wade. Now you got Clarkson. He's coming off the bench. He's that scorer off the bench.
Yep.
I think they've done a great job.
Look, I think, they've obviously gotten younger. They've gotten a little bit more versatile. Let's start with
They replaced a lot of the shooting that they sent away.
Yep.
I'm not saying Hill and Hood are awesome shooters, but they're good 3-point shooters.
And like, let's be honest, what Hill provides you is, like, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance, and Rodney Hood, they're probably too young to really help you in the finals. Now, they're older than some of the young players the Warriors have coming off the bench.
Yeah.
But they haven't played. Rodney Hood's played in playoff games, but Clarkson and Nance have not. So the likelihood they really help you deep into the NBA playoffs not great. George Hill has.
I think they can help you certainly in the East.
Okay, but George Hill has, right? George Hill has.
Yep.
He's played in some wars before. So no matter how well or how poorly he's played, you have to have experienced the higher level of importance of every possession and every game in the playoffs in order to succeed in the playoffs. So I like that. But doesn't this admit that all of the offseason moves were suboptimal? I mean, all those guys are gone.
No question. But you know what? You made a mistake, which even the great Jerry West made mistakes as a GM. And you corrected them immediately, virtually immediately. You saw it wasn't working out, and you corrected them. I have to give them credit for that rather than sit there and, talk about how these things didn't work. I was saying, among as were others, they needed to get rid of Isaiah Thomas somehow, whether it was trade him, bring him off the bench, buy him out or whatever. But when you think about it, they've done it after what, 14, 15 games, whatever it was he played. That is incredible.
Yeah.
And look, I think these moves clearly make them the best team in the East. And I think they would have won the East anyway. It's far too early to say they can play with Golden State. You have to see how these pieces come together. They got an entirely new backcourt. I think their style of play may change a little bit. So you have to see how these guys mesh on the court. But I think they're a better team. I don't think there's any question about that.
So what do they look like? I guess my big concern is I do think that they are probably a better team. And there's some addition by subtraction because you get rid of – and to call Dwayne Wade a headache is probably unfair to Dwayne Wade. But the reality of it is when you're a guy who's been a finals MVP and they're asking you to take a lesser role and you're struggling with the idea that you're not the player you used to be and you got LeBron there and you're like, yo, man, you got my back on this thing. Like, you want me out there, don't you? Like, puts LeBron in a bad spot. I think that helps him. Jay Crowder is not close to what he was or what they thought he would be. We mentioned Isaiah Thomas. Look, Channing Frye is a specialist. Did you see him, what he did on Twitter?
Nice, his tweet.
It was very funny. It was like, hey, excited to go for the young team. And by the way, here's a note to everybody. If you go 0 for 6, they're going to trade your ass, right? He was laughing when he said it because he went 0 for 6 last night.
He's a really good guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
And by the way, he used to be repped by Rob Pelinka, and he's an Arizona guy. You got all those Arizona guys. So a lot of this stuff makes sense. Can you build enough team chemistry in this short period of time, and they don't have Kevin Love until the last 2 weeks of the season? Can you build enough team? Again, so much of this we're looking at on paper.
Yeah.
The reality of it is you got to play together a while to figure stuff out. Do they have enough time to even reach their optimal level?
No question. I mean, it's going to take some time. However, as you know, it's easier to build chemistry and work together with role players than it is with stars. George Hill doesn't dominate the basketball. He does what he does. He won't get in LeBron's way. Rodney Hood now he's a scorer. And if you look at the one thing I like about this deal, when J.R. Smith gave them pretty good nights offensively, they tended to win or play well. Hood can do that consistently. He can give you 17, 18 points a night on a consistent basis. He's long, so theoretically, he can be a good defender. I think their optimum lineup, I assume, is Hill, Hood, LeBron, Tristan, and Kevin Love. That's still 3 really good three-point shooters. And defensively, it can be a better team. You have athletes who can make up for Kevin Love, protect him to some degree, and still allow LeBron to kind of roam. I think, look, like you said, it always takes a little bit of time, but with role players, you don't have the log jams you had before. Now Jordan Clarkson is clearly that guy in the second unit. So I think I do think this team can come together quicker than a team that has you're adding 1 or 2 superstars and who are used to having the ball, not used to playing with a guy like LeBron who's better than them. So I think that it'll be better in that regard.
All right, well,
easier.
The 2 things that matter are can they win a championship with this team, and does this make LeBron more likely to stay? Was LeBron consulted on these moves? We'll get to that upcoming next, but first, we're all looking forward to spring being right around the corner, but winter's in full swing, which means your HVAC system is working overtime. If you aren't properly maintaining your filters, you're not only breathing unhealthy air, you just might find yourself with no heat and thousands of repairs. Now, there's a better way. With FilterBuy.com, America's leading provider in HVAC filters for homes and small businesses, FilterBuy.com carries over 600 different filter sizes, including custom options, all shipped free within 24 hours. Plus, they're manufactured right here in the good old U.S. of A. Right now, you can save 5% when you set up auto delivery, so you never need to think about filters ever again. You don't ever think about it again. Save money, save time, and breathe better. with filterby.com. Remember, FilterBy offers a multitude of MERV options all the way up to hospital grade. So you've been removing dangerous pollen, mold, dust, all those allergy aggravating pollution. That's FilterBy, BUY.com, FilterBy.com.